Namaste. Welcome to all the viewers. Welcome to the YPS Meet Live Season 3, Episode 2. So we are traveling to Goa. Well, the moment we hear this word, three-letter word, GOA, Goa, what does it come to your mind? The first thing which comes to your mind. So let me know in the comment section. Let's see what we think when we hear the word Goa. And Chandrasekhar says, "Let's go." Wow, yeah, perfect. That's really smart. Yeah. So before we begin with our today's presentation, a quick round of announcement. YPS memorables, YPS merchandise. I hope you have ordered your YPS memorables. We have the golden edition mugs, and we have caps in two colors, beige and blue. And the best part about this is that you can order this mug and the cap right from our website. Go to ypsbengaluru.com and look out for this particular green image YPS memorables. It will be on your right hand side. And if not, you can just, if you're on the mobile, you can scroll and look for this YPS memorables. And you can add the mugs and the caps in the cart and do a checkout, and it will be delivered at your door step. Yes, right from our website ypsbengaluru.com. And as we all know that 2021 it was golden jubilee for YPS, and as part of the golden jubilee celebrations we started something called golden jubilee photo challenge, which is exclusively for our YPS members. The theme for January was emotions. The submission deadline was 25th. I hope you all submitted. The results will be coming out on the 1st of February. So all the best. And the next month's theme, the February month's theme is noise. So another thing, like the moment you hear noise with respect to photography, if not, so what is that which comes to your mind? What I can say is that when I hear this word noise, our president head Satish A.K. Taskar, he always says, do not make noise about noise, right? He always tells you we are in the digital era and you really don't need to worry about the noise. You just bump up your ISOs and shoot and something. And when we were trying to add themes to this photo challenge, we thought we want to have some really creative and interesting themes which makes us think little go beyond than the conventional stuff. So how do you make we always try to reduce noise, right? We always talk about how should we reduce noise, what should we do, what software should we use. But then how do you use noise as an advantage in your images, right? You would have if you have seen the black and white films and all, they had a lot of noise, and it kind of added a texture or a feel to it. So pretty creative theme. Let's see how can we use noise as an advantage and get something really inspiring and creative there. So members, start submitting your images on the day one itself. Do not wait for the submission deadline February 25th. And all the best for the emotions theme, which will be publishing it on our website memex.ypsbengaluru.com. And last but not the least, if you wish to become a member, all you need to do is click on ypsbengaluru.com/link, which I'll be posting now in the comment section. If not, you can scan this QR code. If not, you can visit ypsbengaluru.com and look for become a YPS member. The whole process is digitalized. You can become a member in a Jiffy. And we are on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our handle across all the platform is same @YPS Bengaluru. I repeat, @YPS Bengaluru. If you haven't followed our page or liked our Instagram uh, page, do it after the session. And yep, I'm excited to visit Goa, not just for the beaches. Let's see what we can find. Okay, I'm just going through the comments. Okay, yeah, this is something, beer and beaches. Yes, this is something which immediately hits our mind when we hear Goa. But then today it's going to be different. So today's presenter, today's speaker, she is not just a photographer, she's an architect, she's a designer, and a very creative person from Pune. Now she's in Goa. So let us see what we can really know more about Goa. And here's a confession. So I haven't visited Goa till now. It can be a jaw-dropping, moment, maybe, but then it can be a normal stuff also. But then I haven't visited Goa. Maybe this session would really tell me that what I should look for when I visit Goa. So without further ado, let's go with the today's presentation. So let's have our presentation up on the screen. Namaste. How are you, Darpana?
All good, Hardik. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Well,
much.
yeah, I hope you are doing good. A warm welcome to YPS, and it's really good to have you here.
Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you to you. Thank you to H. Satish for the invite. And congratulations on the Golden Jubilee to YPS.
Thank you so much. We are just waiting for the grand finale of Golden Jubilee. Because of this pandemic, it's become, so much to and fro that we are planning. But then, yeah, let's wait for that. Now, I would say that, wish you would have given your presentation here in Bangalore. We would have met in person. But then since it's Goa, we would say that we will come there and then you just don't
Absolutely.
give us a presentation, but then take us to the places. So
Yes.
let's see. Okay, so here's Darpana Athale from Goa. Let me quickly introduce her to you all. A graduate of architecture from Mumbai University, Darpana is a director and co-founder of Sarvaswa Designs Private Limited. She is a traveler between worlds and views stories through design, photography, urban sketching, and poetry. With a large repertoire of works in architecture, retail, design, and craft, Darpana has also been into design education for the last 20 years. She has co founded the Pune Design Festival, now in its 16th year. INKAA, Inca, is that right? Darpana, I can.
Inca. Yes, Inca.
Inca, a repository of art, crafts, and design of India and urban sketches, Goa. Wow. She is also a member of the Photographic Society of Pune and part of the working committee. She is currently on board the Education Committee, Goa Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and National Executive Committee, Association of Designers of India, ADI. That's really wonderful. And I guess you're totally into art, you're into urban sketching, you're into poetry, and whatnot. That's really wonderful. So how did it all started? The architecture, the design, and the photography, and then exploring Goa. So what made you shoot Goa, and maybe like pick up your camera and then start shooting? So how this all came together?
Do you want me to answer that, or do you want me to just show you the show what about Goa that I can share with you?
Wow,
I think,
yeah. Let's go with the visuals. Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So, so, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Goa, at least visually and virtually right now. So, yes, as a lot of you have said, Goa, when you first think of what most people in India think, they think of Goa and they think of beaches. The beer comes next. But being in Goa for so many years, I feel there's a lot much more that Goa can offer, visually, exploratory. And so I'm just going to take you through a journey of a lot of photographs. So also excuse me if I'm going to run a little fast because there is a lot to share with you. And here goes. So Goa is a magical place. We when we come to Goa, we actually I think most of us transform into different people, and we feel that a lot of our dreams come true, and which is true. It's an extremely creative space. It allows you to be the vibes of fabulous. Um, what I have done is I have listed down a huge. I'm listed on many things that you can see in Goa beyond the beaches. So there's architecture, there's history, there's infrastructure, there's archaeology, there's a lot of nature. Apart from the beaches, there are forests and waterfalls and wildlife and backwaters. The streets of Goa are very colorful, and there's a wonderful energy that one can see. And of course, the people. I mean, those who are into shooting or photography, culture and customs and people. There's wonderful. There's a whole variety of people that you can see, and the events. Of course, with the upcoming carnival, which is very popular in Goa, coming Feb end, and the other festivals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you all through all of these in some photos. I'll explain some aspects and I'll skip through some. But overall, I hope it gives you a good overview of what Goa actually can be. And please remember that what I'm showing you is just maybe not even one third of what actually you can come and see. So I would also take this chance to invite all of you to come to Goa and actually see and photograph this as is. And of course, before I forget, Goa and the rains, that's another story, and we'll come to that.
Nice.
So, okay, so we when we talk about architecture, there are a lot of temples, and Goa is a hub for some of the. It is the seat for the GSB community, and we do know a lot of people from Karnataka, from Maharashtra, from all over come here come here to the Shanta Durga temple, come here
Mhm.
to Nageshi, come here to Mangeshi. So these are some of the temples that you can get to see. They are traditional, they are ancient, they are old, they are beautiful. This is the Nageshi temple. This is one of the only temples which was not, moved out of the original location. This is the Nageshi temple. And most of the others during the Portuguese time, most of the temples in Goa had been uh, were in the fear of being destroyed. So they were moved, the idols
Mhm.
were moved, and they were reinstalled close to Fonda. So Fonda is the place where most of the temples are, and of which Nagesh is the only one which has not been touched. So these are, I mean, really old temples. These are and this is another view of the Nageshi.
This would be now the heritage sites, or you take
Sorry, what?
this would be the it would have been converted into heritage site or something.
Yes, these are all heritage sites. Hardik, my slides are going backwards for some reason. I don't know why. I mean,
Okay,
I'm
we are on
trying to
slide
keep on.
7.
Yes,
You
and I'm
want to
pushing it
step ahead?
forward, and I moved it ahead when it's not.
Okay,
Okay,
just
it's
give me a
9.
moment. I'll just go to the 9 and stop. Yeah, I went to the ninth slide. Is that
Yes,
fine?
yes, yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
cool.
I'm still seeing the seventh one on my screen, so I don't know. There's a lag, I guess.
I can. Oh, yeah. Let me go back to the ninth. Yeah, I am on ninth. You can just click
Yeah.
on the right
Yes,
arrow.
yeah, I'll do it.
If
Okay,
it
no
doesn't,
problem.
then I'll do it from mine. No worries. Yeah,
No, 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 no. So
cool.
most of the temples here have their old water tanks, which are as old as the temples, and
Mm.
they have been the source for the communities across. Most of these temples are barely a kilometer in radius from each other, so you can actually take a walking tour amongst most of these temples, and definitely worth a visit. So this is Kurdi. Kurdi is this is slide 10. Should I?
20. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll just keep it at 10 and let's go to the next after this and we'll see. We'll do a refresh. Okay, I jumped back
Because
to
it
the
keeps
8.
going back. Yeah, it keeps going back. I don't know why. Should I just restart or share the screen
Yeah,
from
try
my
doing
end?
that. Just select the again the slide. Uh, Solo audience. Okay, here's some interesting comment from Tusker. He says, anybody game for Goa for 10 days? Yep. My one leg is outside my home. So, yep.
Satish, you're more than welcome. We will. I will organize everything for you. You just come. I think the entire team can just come.
Oh, thank you so much for that. So, I guess he's busy packing now.
Okay. Can I? Okay, I'm trying to share. Can you?
Stop the sharing this current one and maybe you can add again.
You are sharing it, right?
No, so you can do a stop sharing at the bottom.
1 second. No.
I just removed it from the screen. Let's see if I can. No, no, I cannot do that. It is on slide 10 now. Girisha says, so thank you so much. We'll be ready to start. Perfect.
Can you see this? Because I'm not able to. Yeah, now is it fine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on slide
Yeah.
10.
Okay, so this place called Kurudi. This is underwater around 10 months of the year. And this was because when the dam was built, the entire village was displaced. And what is left of this entire place is just this particular temple. It's a Shiva temple, and that's the only thing that is left. And if you
Mhm.
can see the lines, the marks, when it's underwater, everything is submerged. So, I mean, where my cursor is moving, that's where you can see most of it. So, there's hardly anything left. So, this is the only time to see this is during April, May, during summer when the water recedes.
Mm.
Yes, the next slide, and this is also part of it. So at that point of time, there is a festival here at Kurdi where it's where the people come and they offer a lot of prayers. The original villagers and their generations now the the families come here and they pay their respects.
Okay.
This is again another beautiful temple, an ancient one. This is a Tamli Surla temple. Tamli Surla temple, you can also visit the Tamli Surla waterfalls. There are streams and forests. You can do a trek here. So those interested in wildlife, because the Mollem National Park is very close by. So, there's a lot that you can see around this. And I like carrying, I have a lens ball, so I usually use that sometimes for my photography for many things. So that's one of the images right there.
Very interesting.
This is a temple in Madgaon. It's a very small place, but this is where Swami Vivekanand stayed for 2 to 4 days before he went to Chicago for his speech. So he was greatly influenced by this place. So it is
Mhm.
not very well known, but it is a historical place. So there are a lot of temples in Goa which are known for their devis or for the idols, and um, each temple has a story behind it. So I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to just say that when we come here, when we visit here, I can actually tell you all the stories. So from temples we move to churches, and this is the famous Panjim Church. Um, okay, where are we right now? On which slide are
On
they?
14. On 14.
Okay,
And now
okay,
it's on 15. Okay,
yeah.
there seems to be some sync issues because of the internet. Let me know if you want to jump to a specific slide or you want me to move or you want to start sharing it as a PPT again as a window.
I think I'll share it as a PPT. That'll be easier.
Yeah, okay. I'll bring this down. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
share
yeah.
it as a PPT, as a window. Once it is here on the dock, I'll bring it up.
Yep. Okay. Let me know if this can be seen.
No, I haven't got any screen yet.
It's saying I'm sharing, so it's
No, I would have gone to one pop up here, but then it is still not up. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll remove this one now. Oh, oh no. Okay, team, sorry for the inconvenience. Seems to be some issue with the. Now, this is the regular slide. So you can
Yeah.
do one thing. You can stop sharing at the bottom or remove it. If
Okay.
you see something called remove,
Yes, I have done that.
just click on share again, share screen and window, and the
Yes.
PPT.
Yes.
Let
Okay.
the PPT be up on the in the back end.
Done. Can you see it now?
Yep, perfect. Yeah, I can see the lens ball, the inverted one.
Yes, yes. So this
That
is the
is the
famous Panjim Church, and I mean it's quite an icon for most people. I mean, I think for on Instagram posts or people who are bloggers or tourism
Mhm.
influencers, this is one spot that is never missed. And uh, across time, I mean during the year, through various festivals and various feasts, the church is lit up in so many ways, and it's absolutely beautiful. So these are some images that I've taken in the morning. This is like early morning, and that was in the evening. This is just a very recent one when there was an installation done of, on the church of quilts from across the world.
Hmm.
This is Rashol Seminary, which is Asia's largest um, Catholic school for teaching or for learning for the priests. So this is a very very old place. You need permission to even go and see it, and I'll tell you why, because inside is amazing. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's
Oh,
as I said, one of the oldest. It's extremely well maintained and fabulous architecture. So, being an architect, I mean, I veer towards architecture, photography a bit more, as you can see.
yeah.
So, I like to look at details and so on. This is the Madgaon Church. And again, very simplistic from outside. There's hardly anything that you will see, but when you go inside, it is so amazing. It just awes you. Smaller details. Most people, when they come to Goa, they visit the area called Old Goa or Vela Goa. And Vela Goa or Old Goa is not Fontaines or the one which is the old part of Panjim that is
Hmm.
usually confused with. So this is Vela Goa, and this is where most of the big churches or the Basilica of Saint Francis Xavier is. This is the Say Cathedral, and this was taken during the lockdown when there was tourists were not allowed. So that's the reason I've got a completely. I mean, this is devoid of any crowd. This is the Basilica of Saint Francis Xavier. It is a huge, huge icon with respect to Christian history, as well as the fact that Saint Francis Assisi's remains or physical remains have been entombed here for the last many years.
Mhm.
And the Saint Francis feast is on December 3rd of every year. So at that point of time, for that whole week, this whole place gets becomes it's colorful. There are a lot of uh, small shops put up, and it's like a huge like a huge festival. St. Augustine's Tower, which is again further up the hill. Not much of it remains, but it's beautiful, especially in the mornings when you're just going and just. trying to see some different part of Goa. And there are further so many churches across, like this is in Navelim, this is now across Goa. You know, this is also again in Old Goa, but nearby. This is the Donna Paula Church, and the way to this is through the governor's house. I mean, you have to cross the governor's house, and it is nestled in on that corner point of Donna Paul, where you can just, I mean, on all three sides, you can see the sea, and it's a fabulous location, and overall, it's a great place to visit. So we don't have just temples and churches, and we also have mosques, and we also have mosques which are really old. And this is one of the oldest, which is Safa Masjid. It's a fabulous laterite stone and brick structure. And as you can see, there's a water body. It's and it's not. It's very unlike a normal mosque of today with a dome and different colors. It's very understated. It is very simple and a very beautiful structure. Of course, the houses are out here are fabulous to see. Many of these are, some of them are, some of them belong to Hindus, but most of these, especially the large ones, are the ones that the Christian or the converted people were given or gifted through the Portuguese. So many of these are seen in South Goa, and some of them, of course, not as large, but some of them are seen in north of Goa too. So this is the Fernandez house, and these would be approximately 300, 350 years old easily.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
And yes, this is the interiors. I mean, just look at the detailing and the woodwork to everything. It's just spectacular. And this is something that you will not get to see any other part of the country, these kind of houses, because it's, I mean, there is nothing called the Portuguese house, but these are the old Goan houses, and old Goan houses have a fabulous fusion of Portuguese influences, Goan local workmanship, and Hindu influences too. So it's a mix of many things, which is Indian and Indo-Portuguese. And so, as you can see, right from the furniture to the archways to the doorways, there's a lot more that you can see. Again, small details. I mean, right from some of
wow.
these are very typical to a house, a Goan house, which is the long winding staircases, then a balka or a seating space, like a porch in front before you enter, a nice long veranda, beautiful old flooring to furniture. Some of it is still as well maintained, and that's the beauty of some of these houses, that there's a lot of pride being taken in this, and there are a lot of people who have maintained these houses really well,
Which is
knowing
very
the
important.
importance of the, yeah, knowing the importance of the cultural history. And then we also have a modern influence of this. This is Wendell Roderick's house, late Wendell Roderick's house, which I had a chance to photograph when I'd gone for lunch. This is his place. So it's a beautiful old house with a lot of modern influence, and the colors. I mean, Goa is known for its colors. My profession as an architect takes me to some of these old houses more often, and some of them are in dilapidated conditions. But when you actually enter, and none of this, what you're seeing, is staged. I have taken the photograph as is, and this has remained there for I don't know how many years. And you, as you can see, so it's a very beautiful quality that of that comes, which is very, it's like a film, like you're visiting an
Yep.
old film.
It's a beautiful
And
setup.
yeah, it's a. So we're coming to the next part of, since we saw the cross, elements that we see very often. So there are beautiful archways, there are windows, these are gates. This is the gate to the Rachel Seminary. There are deep stumps in all the temples, all the big temples. To most of the temples have wonderful, beautiful deep stumps. And these crosses, and these crosses you can see sometimes even while you're driving down, when you're on the streets, there are these small little crosses, and it's just a matter not only of faith but a matter of goodwill, or it's sort of blessing the place. What is also beautiful, if one walks around different parts of Goa, is that you can see um, these old doors. This is right in the heart of Panjim, and every time I've passed this, it has never ceased to astonish me, because I've never seen some any kind of detailing like this before, even with the artwork. And the windows, Goa is known for the shell craft, which is a dying craft, unfortunately. But as you can see, these strips of white are a mica or shell, mother of pearl, and
Hmm.
they are thin slices, and these are fitted in the windows. And this is the traditional window that you would see in most old houses. Some of them have detailing, some of them have stained glass, but by and large, most of them would have the shell finish. Grills or tiles. The Azulio tiles are very famous here. They are these blue tiles, but of course they are not just the blue tiles. You can get the Azulio tiles in different colors. If you see, if you are passing by any of the old houses, or even sometimes some of the new ones, you would see nameplates of the houses or the doors in these fabulous tiled work. Entrance gate, and this is a very very old house, again very close, very, I mean, in Fonda. And it used to belong to, at that point of time, a very important Hindu family. And as you can see, these these lions are like emblems. So you, at many doors, I mean many houses, you would see these emblems. You would see lions outside the door. You would also see statues of soldiers, or the cock, which is Portugal's national bird, actually. So you would see that, and you would know that, okay, this is a Portuguese house in that sense, or and this is the ones which have the statues of the soldiers, are the ones where they had people from the family fighting for the land. So, art or artists from Goa are again very world famous. One of them being Mario Miranda, and this is in Panjim, outside one of the galleries. Influenced by his work, there is it's like these are relief work done outside. So these are surprising, beautiful elements. When all you need to do is just walk across some of the streets, and you are exposed to such lovely details, which are wonderful to just look at. They are colorful. They are, whether in form or in any other way. There's so much that they can give, including grills and a little balcao. This is the
Yeah.
typical uh, old traditional way of interacting with people and the streets, sitting outside your house. Again, stained glass windows, and or wooden trellises. This is something which I will be talking further about, but this decoration is seen especially in Hindu houses and during Ganpati, and I will talk about this when I talk about the culture part in a bit. We see statues, which is wonderful. Aqueducts. This is a very old fountain. There are three to four such fountains in Panjim itself, where you have the natural spring coming in, and these have aqueducts, near it. So this is the Phoenix Spring, where at Mara, where and the name of Fontainebleau, the place originates from because of this particular spring, because of this particular fountain. Then, of course, there's a lot that you can see in Goa, which is archaeological, which is historical, right from old temples, old caves. Then there are sati stones, veer girls. These are, veer girls are again stones which depict the history of the village, which talk about the bravery of the warrior who passed away
Yeah.
during the fights. Then these are the Rivona caves, and this is the Kund at the Rivona caves. Again, these are small. These are all caves. So there's another very different part of Goa, which is, as I said, archaeological. So you have these. You can see hieroglyphics. You can see so many things around here. Modern buildings, from historical, I'm now moving quickly to modern, and one of the icons of modern architecture or modern buildings is the Kala Academy, built by Charles designed by Charles Correa, the famous architect who was from Goa but practiced in Mumbai. This is Suna Pranta, which is again an old house, now converted into a museum and a gallery. A lot of wonderful exhibitions, especially on art and photography, are held here. And this is in Altin, which is right on top. So you get a wonderful view of the Panjim city below. And again, as I normally do, I have my lens ball here also. This is Houses of Goa. It's on a slope. It's on an island on this sort of a dividing these two roads, and it's a small little cafe and a museum which has documented houses of Goa across time. It's a beautiful space to see and experience also, as well as to look at the works inside. Okay, I don't know if anybody would recognize this from this point of view, because I have not put in the popular viewpoint at all. But this is the fort, uh, which was shot in Dil Chata Hai, the Chapora fort.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. And so when we think of forts, there are smaller forts, so which are across Goa. I mean, we know Fort Shapora, we know Aguada, we know the popular ones, and there are some which are lesser known, and visit to them. They are not as well maintained, as you can see, but they are worth the visit. It just gives you, they're really small, they're tiny forts. It's more like um, it's not really a fort per se, but yes, it is a wonderful space to see. And this is, of course, the Aguada, seen from Taj. And in the last few years, Goa has changed rapidly with respect to the kind of infrastructure that's been come into place. The Atal Setu, the bridge, is the third longest cable stayed bridge in the country, and so in that sense, bridges, and I especially am very passionate or very fond of photographing bridges. So these are some of the bridges across Goa, and as you can see, they are, I mean, they give, they make for wonderful views as well as are great in terms of just the structure.
Yeah.
So this is from the jetty point um, of, you can see Atal Setu again. This was taken on, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago during the Republic Day, when it was orange, white, and green. The bridge had been lit up, and there was a almost full moon at that point of time. So this is the newest bridge coming up, which is on the Zuari. It's a huge mammoth project, and I had the good fortune to go and even go on site and have a look. So from that bridge, I'm looking across at the road bridge and the rail bridge, which is on the other side. This is as it is being built. Coming to streets, since we talked about architecture, uh, I think a lot of people who've come to Goa will recognize the fact that they've suddenly, when they see or they think of Goa, they'll think of houses that are full of color. And you, as you can see, there's green, there's blue, orange, so many colors, and there are pinks and purples, and um, it's vibrant. People don't hesitate to use bright colors, and it's a very different take on what you know I mean, colors can be in terms of, there's no subtlety about it, and there's no thinking about, okay, now as you can see, the same house has half pink, half blue.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's just, and you have a bright yellow next to it. I mean, but it goes so beautifully just being there together. The brightness of it sort of takes care of it all. I mean, an early morning walk across the smaller areas and smaller villages and smaller parts of Goa, and you can see such lovely views. Some houses, I mean, some places are just known. I mean, I just like it because it looks, I mean, there's some sort of an abstraction in this which I like. That's the reason I've taken this. And normally, I mean, streets, this is in the old quarter of, or the Latin quarter of Fontaines, which is the old part of Panjim, or the main older area of Panjim. And people, I mean, especially fisherwomen or men with on their cycles or bikes are seen going to every house, especially on Sundays and sometimes during the weeks, in the mornings, delivering fresh fish. So you don't need to go anywhere else. The fish comes to you, as does the bread. And bread is something huge in Goa, and that we'll talk about soon.
and it's a very nice juxtapose, this.
Yes, thank you. And of course, this place is very famous for, may I say, for pre-wedding shoots. You come here after 9 a.m. and you can, I mean, there will be different groups just taking pre-wedding photography shoots here because of the colorful background.
Okay, and yeah, just as you mentioned about pre-weddings, like there aren't any restrictions like you shouldn't be shooting, or is it like they need to get some permission or something?
So, unfortunately, there are some houses now in Goa which have started putting up signs outside saying that no videography and no photography here, which was not there earlier. And I think it's just because they are bombarded with the amount of people, just standing there. And because a lot of time people come in, yes, there are no permissions that are taken. They don't even let the people or the inhabitants of the houses know that, okay, we are shooting your house, and finally it's a private property. So I think
Mm.
that much a little bit responsibility has to be taken by the
Yeah, true.
photography team to just go and have a chat with them, take permission from them. And many
Exactly.
of them do not mind it. It is just that I've also heard people saying that, oh, when they come, they just just stand somewhere, they put their shoes and their marks are all over the building, and they spoil the facade. So we don't like them being around. It's not about having money. It's just about our house. We don't like somebody else spoiling it. So I think that sensitization needs to be there very much.
Right. Yeah, we need to respect their privacy, and we should
Very much. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. And I think it's very important to respect the place that one goes to, irrespective
True.
of where you come from.
Yeah.
So this is one of the very famous bars of Goa, which is Joseph Bar. It's a very small place, but it's on the tourist map, and it's known as one of the most popular drinking or watering holes. As somebody said, beer and beaches. So yes, this is one of the places where you can pick up the beer. And early mornings are wonderful, just soaking in the sun, looking at different things, looking at people moving around. The streets give you a lot of color, they give you a lot of opportunity to, take or look at Goa in a very different way. And especially when you are on a Sunday, at Panjim or at Mapsa, this is the regular scene where, you know, eh, as is this, is, is just saying hello to you. So for me, streets also become the waterways. It's not just the roads or the bylanes, the waterways or the bridges are also streets for us. And the ferries are an important transportation uh, part of our system. So for us, even the water or the rivers are our streets. And then it, of course, depends on the perspective that you have.
Yeah.
And while on the streets, there's because art is quite big here, and and for the last few years we've had the Serendipity Art Festival. So the public places has a lot of art and a lot of graffiti, and it sort of will you just round a corner and you'll suddenly it pops at you. And I think it's that experience of discovering something, and I think that is something really wonderful to have.
Well, then I guess we should first go without the cameras, have a look around and enjoy the place, and then pick up the camera.
I think I'll just come. I'll take your, so you don't have to worry.
Then
So this is again, as I said, where the aqueduct was. This is, I mean, the Fontaines, the spring. This is just that, and this is the famous Maruti temple on top. And usually, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Diwali, or any other kind, you have most of these chowks or important areas which will have all these the lighting and the decoration. So it's a very community feeling. And during Christmas time, during feast and during festivals, these balloon sellers are there very often, and I think they add to the visual context of the street more than anybody else does.
Hmm.
And sometimes, if you are not really looking down and you happen to look somewhere else and you start looking further more up, you might have some elements that pop up which are, which might surprise you, like this image on the window. And as I said, this is a very regular scene. Fisherwomen with baskets selling either vegetables or selling fish, going door to door. This is during Christmas. As I said, many of these balloon sellers come from Bombay and they come from other parts of the country. They come here only during these 10 days, especially during Christmas, to sell balloons and to sell all these Santa caps and stuff like that. And the streets give a wonderful glow. It's something very different that is there's a lot of cheer, there's a lot of uh, good vibes that are seen, whether it's Diwali or whether it is Christmas. Early mornings and the village areas, or rather the see, because Goa is we have very few cities or large cities in that sense. Most of it are still villages, and some of the villages, and just walking through the villages is just beautiful. I mean, it's just morning walks, and sometimes so many elements, so many things surprise you. And I think this is something common in every part of the country. But yes, we have cows morning, afternoon, evening, night, all over as part of our street infrastructure. During harvest, this is the scene that you'll see in Goa. It doesn't matter how much or where you are, whether it is drying of grains or fish being dried on the road. This is something that you will see, especially now in the summertime. Of course, streets become the beaches, also are streets in many ways, and there are many activities that happen on the beaches. The ferry point is, or the ferries are typical, or the boats that you see. Some of these boats come from Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and they are there overnight just for transport. And of course, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the beaches, and then we'll move on to other aspects. Um, Everything about the beaches are wonderful. I mean, it is something that for me, it's personally, it sort of refreshes me. It's a place for me to relax and, or just be. I can be on the beach through the day, but I equally enjoy, apart from the beach, many other aspects of greenery that is part of Goa, like a lot of farmlands, a lot of rivers, and especially during the summers and in the monsoons, these are lush, these are green, these are overflowing, and there are a lot of activities that take place in or by the water. These are backwaters, so people come here for morning walks, and this is part of everyday part of Goa. So there are forest streams. These are normal, regular roads when we are moving around or in the villages. It's not necessarily you have to be, going out or in the highway to get this kind of a feel. This is very much part or inside Goa. But this is, and as I said, it's an everyday scene for us, and it's beautiful, it's lush, and we actually love it because it's so green.
You're lucky.
No, it's not we are lucky. I do know Bangalore has always also been that. I think it's just about for us to I think take pride and just maintain what is there.
That's really important, to maintain.
And these are again the backwaters, and as I said, sometimes the I mean, what I'm going to be showing you, this and the following photographs, there's no filter used, and what you will be seeing are just reflections of the sky. So these are all mangrove areas, and so these are lakes and water bodies that are formed. And as I said, there's absolutely no touch up. I've actually not done anything much. The sky is, as you can see. It's just a wonderful reflection. And to be able to even get up in the morning or witness this in the morning or in the evenings, I think it just takes us to another level completely. We've had a lot of mining history in Goa, so now most of the quarries have been made into water holes where people can go. They use it as picnic spots. People can go here. Again, these are out for swimming, and these are nice places for a quiet day. And yes, some of the marine life I do not have. I have some, but I'm not going to be showing you too many. I'm just taking you through some of the stuff that you see in Goa. Those interested in wildlife, in bird photography, we do have the olive ridley turtle nesting seasons that happen, and I mean, I would recommend only those who are really seriously interested in that, because that's a highly sensitive, endangered species, and for conservation purposes, I mean, we do photography there, and we can also have other places, like a lot of stuff that happens underwater. There's so much that you can see beyond the normal thing. And yes, snakes are very common in I mean, in most of our backyards. So we just all live in harmony with them. So we have the big five of the snakes, the big five venomous ones in Goa also. These are seasonal fruits. Many of them can you would recognize. These are specially harvested during Ganpati. And during Ganpati season, most of the houses, especially the Hindu houses, have decorations made out of these. And there's a bazaar that fills up only with these a few days prior to Ganpati. And again, when I say seasonal, there's a lot of flora and fauna that happen that one can witness in Goa, which you wouldn't normally see in many other places. People, I like photographing people as they work. I have started a series called The Working Hands, where I've been photographing people working, whether it's in through the occupation, is the people who sort of help us, support us, serve us in so many ways, and whose hands actually feed us. So these are the ones that I've been photographing. These are the ramponkers, which means this is the traditional style of fishing without mechanical boats or mechanical any equipment. And it's a regular scene that one happens because these are stud bulls that are taken for the regular walks, vegetables and yes, we do have a lot of people who come in from other parts of the country for work, for living here, because Goa is giving them some kind of, or maybe even for spiritual reasons. A lot of them come here as part of the casinos that are being run in Goa. And it is, I mean, these, so that's why I said when you see in terms of the people of Goa, there's a diversity or a variety that is seen in very few places in India. Uh, Culture is very, very huge, and especially and not really much talked about. And because most of this is done, in private communities or in their homes, and it is not so flamboyant or so out there as part of the other countries, or I mean other cities that you see in India. In Goa, it is very understated, but it's very, very community driven. So again, these are jasmine flowers, especially during season, and they are worn by the women. The kind of gajras and venis. Gajras are just flower hung, but the venis are these beautiful decorated or decorative pieces of works of art that the women wear in their hair. And it is painstakingly done. They are beautifully done, in fact, as you can see. And they are, and I've lived in I'm from Bombay and I've lived in Pune. Both are okay. Okay, sorry about that. We are having the election, so you're getting some Konkani background music right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as I was saying that even Pune, which is a cultural capital of Maharashtra, I have not seen this much variation in terms of the venues. The Rath, I mean, now that we had Sankranti and the Rath Saptami and the Rath festivals, I mean, these are really big, and people come from all over just for these. So January, February are these is something that where you can see the Rath being taken. Seasonal food, fruits and food grown locally and are used specifically for showing. It's also marking seasonal changes and also celebration. What you see below are tubers, which are specifically grown during this time in the winters. They come. Again, Ganpati is the biggest festival in Goa, and in Goa, apart from, I mean, even in Maharashtra, I've not seen it, but all 10 days of Ganpati, there it's Goa's in on a lockdown kind of a thing. People literally shut shop and they take 10 days off. And many people who maybe are working in Panjim but come from different villages, they go back to their villages to spend those at least the first 5 days of Ganpati. So, and of course, Ganpati, I mean, we have the artists and the potters as well as the Ganpati makers here in Goa. So things which are made locally, there's a whole big very there's a big emphasis on what is local and traditionally made. And as you can see, as I mentioned about that decoration which I had shown you earlier in the first few slides, I'm coming back to this. Now, this what you can see on top on the ceiling, this is during Ganpati. So, the also this demarcates the difference between a Hindu house and a non-Hindu house. Plus, it's usually in within the village, the house that is going to host the Ganpati that year will have these kind of decorations inside. Now, this is completely on the ceiling of a living room. As you can see, the space is not really that large, but look at the kind of work. It's the whole ceiling is filled, and this is very painstakingly done every year. The other big festival that we have is, of course, Diwali, but more than that is the Narkasur. And nowhere have I seen Narkasur idols like this than I've seen in Goa. I mean, Narkasur in Goa is by itself a tourist attraction and a huge festival in itself. So days prior to Diwali, you will see these idols being made, and on that morning of Diwali, they are early morning, they are burnt. But you can see the kind of, and there are competitions for these. So the biggest and the best decorated one are given prizes, and so it becomes like a huge competition between streets and between communities. And you will see them, every 50 meters, I mean, not in 50 meters, 50 feet, you might see another one. It's that big, and these are huge. As you can see the scale, they are huge. Christmas is great when it's not just for having just enjoying Christmas, or Christmas parties, but there's one part of Goa which is so steeped in culture that I mean, this is during pre Christmas, where carols are sung across different churches. And it's fabulous because there's a whole choir that goes from church to church, and anybody and everybody is welcome, they to go and attend. You can just listen to it for an hour, and it gives you a very different experience completely. As is the New Year, I mean, the Christmas Eve. If you just attend any of the mass during Christmas Eve, it's just very simple and very wonderful to experience. And of course, we have a lot of Christmas decorations across Goa. This is at the Race Megos Church. And as I said, culture, and these are, so there are these tribes or the village women, especially the tribal women, usually sing songs at while they are grinding. So this becomes it becomes a woman bonding event, and they sort of sing songs about their house, about their families, and about the problems that they have that they can't usually tell anybody else. And while they are, for grinding for, say, the months or the years quota of grains, they are singing, they are communicating, they are interacting with each other. And as you can see, they are wearing also the traditional kunbi weaves. Fish drying is something which is I mean, as I said earlier, also you'll see it up on the streets also, and it's there for this is again part of the all of this is part of my working hand series. Craft or the handloom in Goa. There's the it's again a dyeing craft, which is the kunbi handloom weaving. It's kunbi is a sari worn by the tribals. So kokum is a fruit which is very popular here, and in fact, in Goa, sort of, I think, or rather, a lot of the part of Konkan, but Goa especially uses kokum for almost everything. And the reason I've taken this is if you see the kind of, to dry these. The women have to sort of dry these, have to cut them, have to de-seed these, and they are because it's not a very it's harsh on the skin, and as you can see the person has blisters in their hand. So it's a very painstaking process, and people don't realize what it means to actually get that kokum in their house. So I use a lot of my photos as part of a storytelling process of the culture. We come now to fest, which is the very popular part, and this is the carnival. Everybody is welcome to the 2022 carnival, which is starting from Feb 26th up to 1st of March. And Yeah, so what you can see are colorful floats and huge, with various themes and different dances and colorful costumes, and it's a very different vibe. Then, very similarly, we have the Shigmo, which is the harvest festival. We also have the Saujao, which is in June. Again, during the Shigmo, we also have similar floats like in the carnival, but these are more with mythological, stories being told. And during any kind of anything, I mean, Goa does not need, I think, an excuse to celebrate. So during any kind of a festival or a feast, a lot of it is lit up. The Diwali, it's just, and the other interesting part about Diwali in Goa is that people still use the traditional forms of the lanterns as much as possible, and and most of them are paper and not plastic. You don't see the Chinese lanterns or the stars as much as you see the traditional forms. So this was during our Liberation Day. And Goa is also actually it's a hub for many events. So this is the Ironman event, and I think Goa is one of the very few places where you can have an event which involves cycling, which involves running, and which involves also a water sport, it's like swimming. So they swim in the sea first, then they are, I think, they have to do all three of them.
Three, yeah.
Yes. So this is just after the. I mean, this is just after the swimming. They started cycling. So this was and after this or before this they had run. So this is like a huge thing that is there. And Goa is also known for its marathons. The Goa River Marathon is one of the biggest marathons in the country. People come here from all over the world, from the country. Christmas, everything is is a huge feast. Every corner becomes a huge feast. This is this was taken this Christmas. As you can see, this is on 24th. This was actually on Christmas Eve, 24th night, around 12, yeah, this is around 12:30 in the night. As you can see, everything is packed. And every area has wonderful small decorations. It's just wonderful. Just it's just it's the whole vibe. It's colorful. It's warm. It's inviting. It's happy.
Yeah.
And then we sometimes have other kinds of events and festivals when they light up. They have a sound and light show. So this was, the old GMC complex which was lit up. And then of course the music is huge. Music is one of the biggest movers and shakers of in Goa, and the jazz fests have been here for a very very long time. So these are events. Ifi, of course, as everybody knows, Ifi is celebrated only in Goa.
Mhm.
And yes, what I like about the food and the reason why I have included the food photography is not just because you get specifically seafood here, but it's also because there is such a variety of tourism and a variety in terms of hospitality and places that you can eat, that people have a great emphasis on organic food, on healthy food, or even on the presentation of it. And that is something which is very lacking in many many places. I mean, even in some of the five stars that you don't see that, but you might see great presentation in a normal shack somewhere on the beach of Goa. I mean, who wouldn't want to start a healthy breakfast like this in the morning? And yes, the thalis, especially the fish thalis or the seafood thalis, are the one of the, I mean, the most popular. Oysters. This is bhaji pav. Bhaji pav is the normal breakfast for most of us.
Mhm.
If you're in a hurry, and this is not pav bhaji. This is not the Bombay pav bhaji. This is bhaji pav. That means you have a mix of potato, which is a dry, and or and something in gravy, which is an usar or which is a pulse, and sometimes it's a mix. And then you sometimes have mushroom curry or you have a zakuti curry and those kind of things. But and this is the regular pav, but there's something called the poi also, which I will show you. So this is regular. I mean, this is what why I'm showing you is this is regular. These are regular scenes that one sees. But I know for a fact that it's sort of um, is uh, quite fascinating for a lot of people who come visiting Goa because they've never seen something like this.
Oh,
Just 1 second, give me. I just plug in my lap. Yeah.
I guess it's art everywhere.
There is art always, and there, of course, we have seasonal fruits. This is a mushroom that again, which is only in Goa, and it's a huge delicacy. It is found only in 1 or 2 weeks, sometime in July, August. And the reason why it is a delicacy is because one, it grows very sparingly. Secondly, it is foraged very deep into the forest and very close to anthills and snake mounds. So going there and trying to get these mushrooms is quite a task, but they are delicious to eat. Regular, I think you can call it kanji, but they normally it's a the rice here is the red rice. It's not the boiled rice, but it's a red brown rice. And the mango again is again they have the mankuras, which is again Goan local, which they compare to the Alfonsos.
Okay.
This is patori. I mean, this is again a seasonal food, which is made during the, you know, just when the rains have started, and it's made or steamed in haldi leaves. So all these are organic. These are traditional. These are also food that is eaten during the season to help, sustain yourself or to give you better health. And I said, as a poi, this is my photograph only, but I couldn't find this actually on my laptop, so I had to take it from my iStock account. That's the reason I've sort of excuse the watermark, but this is the poi. It's a whole wheat pav or bun, and you get there are variety of different kinds of bread. So some are soft, some are hard, some are different shapes, some are, like, so, and these are the healthier option, and this is what one regular eats. When I said bhaji pav, it's usually bhaji and poi. As I said, bread is huge, as are sausages, the chorizos and the chorizo pav. Again, very, very common food. This is something that you will see also during feasts. So anytime there's a feast and you see stalls outside, so you'll see stalls of chanas and, and of peanuts, and you'll see stalls of chorizo pav. Chilies, the red chilies are very different from the chilies that you find elsewhere, and which is why the masalas that are ground in Goa are very different from the masalas that you see in Maharashtra or Karnataka. And I come now to the last part of my talk, which is Goa and the rains. And for me, I absolutely love Goa in all its season, but the rains especially is it's. I think it becomes completely something different, and we have the hard lashing rains. So when I say it rains, it actually pours, but that gives me a great opportunity to take different kinds of photograph, because then I feel I'm looking at art and not really at photography in that sense. It for me these become they are like watercolor paintings. And the whole area becomes green. I mean, the variety of greens is you should experience it to see it. And yes, it also allows for some amount of, like a bokeh kind of a
Uh, Playing with
effect.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually it's fun. So it's nice to have the rain falling down and you're sitting and you're just trying to experiment and trying to take some photos. This was taken actually during the cyclone, which had just hit us. Actually, I happened to be sketching on this day, and I was sitting in my car and I was painting, and I saw these two men running, and I just found the whole. I mean, I just the whole imagery was very strong in that sense. That's why I immediately clicked them. And of course, as I said right at the beginning, Goa is a magical place. Everything about it, where there's a rain, there's always a rainbow. So, yes, Mogasuni, which means keep the love. And this is something that all of us from in Goa will normally greet each other. and say to everybody who comes to Goa as well as to friends and family. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was really wonderful. Uh, if I want to tell this whole presentation, it was something like, this is Goa. It was like, वो जो perception था कि हाँ गोवा मतलब this is what it is. It has changed to so many things now: light, art, colors, festival. So that's really amazing. I guess good that we had this, presentation, and to see Goa through your eyes was really wonderful. So Tusker says amazing plethora of subjects fit to be in book on Goa, Mogosuni.
Thank
Yep.
you. Same to you. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, to all our viewers, if you have any questions, start putting them in the comment section. We'll start bringing up. There was one question which came up earlier. Let me bring it up on the screen. It was about the paintings. The colors. So, yeah, how old? Mr. Chandra is asking, how old is the tradition of painting the houses with such vivid colors in Goa?
Okay, so actually, most of the older houses, so you had a yellow, a blue, it's like like a cobalt blue, and a maroon red. So these are the traditional colors, and these were the original traditional colors even during the older times, when the old houses or when the during the Portuguese time also. And now that you see, I mean, the oranges and the blues and purples and all, those are new. Those are really new, and that's just come in the last 8, 10 years.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, here's another question from Anachara Shiva. Have you done anything on the history of Goa?
In what sense? I mean,
Yep.
I would like to understand that better.
Yeah, we'll keep that. Once he responds, I'll bring it up again. Here's another question from Ratsima sir. What is the best time to visit?
Every day is the best time to visit. As I said, the reason why I took you all through different points is what is it that you want to actually see in Goa. And currently, we are having, as I said, the feasts going on because of we just had Sankran, and till Ratha Saptami, we have feasts going on everywhere. So every time in end of Feb we have the carnival, then we have Shigmo, then we have Saujao. I mean, those are just the festivals. Then what is it that in terms of weather? Yes, April and May, or rather March and April are rather the more warm areas, days actually. And otherwise it's wonderful. The season, or what we call the tourist season, usually starts from October to March. So then you can decide, I mean, what is it that you want to see. And as I said, Goa in the rains is a completely different experience. If you are brave enough to get wet and weather the rain, it'll be worth your time and visit.
Perfect. I guess we can expect something around the magical Goa. Maybe a book or a documentary, something
Oh
around
yes,
that.
working on that.
Wow, wonderful. Nice. Here's a comment from Mr. Mahesh. You changed the perception of Goa and displayed its rich culture, festival, food, which are less known. Yeah, food.
I'm
So,
glad. I'm really glad because that was the idea. I wanted it to be known for more than the beer and the beaches.
and there's so many stuff. So many things.
And we are the smallest state in the country, and we have so much of variety. There's a lot to
Yeah.
discover.
And maybe it's because it's a tourist place and tourist attraction. People have maintained that culture and everything, so that people, when they come, they enjoy and they know what Goa is. Else it's very easy to get modernized and convert and change and replace the old stuff with the new. But it's really good that they are still maintaining and the way the festivals are celebrated.
Yes. Yes.
So that's really nice. Here's a question from Mr. Krishna. How crowded are carnivals and Shigmo?
Very, very crowded. I mean, easily because all the streets are completely packed. There's from what images I showed you were just of the floats, but what you will see at one particular section, there will be about 100, just one small area. So you can imagine the entire road with about 50, 60 people per 10, 20 feet. So it's that
Oh,
crowded. It's very crowded
nice.
because people come to see the carnival from all over.
Hmm. Okay, so we'll take a couple of questions. Here's an interesting one. This is from Ms. Gayatri. Is there any particular genre of artwork that is used for the graffiti?
I think this is my niece. Okay. Is there
Okay.
any particular genre of artwork that is used for the graffiti? Not really. But yes, in the last the last Serendipity festival, we did have F.N. Souza's grandson here doing portraits of well known famous Goans across buildings. So you will see these huge portraits across Goa, especially in Panjim, and they would be of some famous footballer, some famous artist, or a writer, or a freedom. Some in people who have contributed in so many ways to Goa. So yeah, that's been the some of the new stuff. Otherwise, there's not specifically an a genre, because if you see the kind of work that Mario Miranda does, it's completely different, and anybody else is there's a huge difference.
Nice. Okay, here's something which one I was wondering about. Mr. Jasprit is
Thank you.
asking. He says, "Beautiful presentation. Thanks, Arpana. The roof decorations during Ganpati festive
Yes,
are this
yes, they're
paper?"
paper. They are all paper, and they decorate not only the ceilings. I mean, of that living room, but it's also the veranda. The entire veranda is full of, that the Madgaon temple I showed you with the red ribbons across.
Hmm.
Most of the houses would be like that during
Wow,
Ganpati. Yeah, and it's all paper. It's all paper. It's all handmade and all hand done.
lovely. Good that it is away from plastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Very much. Yeah. I guess that ceiling, the roof, which you were talking about, it's something what we get here also, in that circular form. Like
Yes,
it's like
but that's
hand fan.
like a
You
very
open it
small,
and then
a
you close
small
it.
hand fan.
Correct. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and in that huge size,
Yes,
that's something.
yeah. And they do this every year. So every year, the house that is celebrating or hosting the Ganpati for the village, that house will be decorated like this.
Wonderful. Okay. Mr. Thresh Kapoor, we have him here. He says enjoyed the presentation. Something
Thank you
very
so much.
different. Very true. Miss Vinaya says her name is apt for her presentation, Mirror of Goa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Last one for the day. You covered it all. Wonderful. How about Kaju and Babinka too?
So I try to stay away from the very regular stuff because everybody knows about Fini, everybody knows about the whiskeys, and everybody knows about Bebinka and Kaju. So I thought, let me take you through some other food that is not so popular or known outside Goa.
Okay. Now that I know that it's something about related to food and it includes Kaju, I'm gonna definitely keep that in my list because Kaju is something really favorite to me.
Yeah, because cashews are, Goa is a state for cashew nuts.
Okay, straight for me.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
that's how
Okay.
everything is made. Even the drinks, the kaju feni, and the orak, the feni, and then of course, whatever else, everything is made out of the cashew.
Okay. Oh, I'll read more about that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. One more. Mr. Yogesh is asking, could you give me top three non-touristy places to eat, please?
Yogesh, there's a lot of places which I can give you which are definitely non-touristy because I mean, I would suggest that when you are in Goa, why don't you just ping me? That will be easier. Definitely not the Susa Lobo types. And if you're looking at seafood, I can tell you a lot of places which are offbeat and which are not regular, but have traditional local good food.
Perfect. Okay. Again, we have a comment from Suresh sir. Got different perspective of Goa. Visited Goa many times, but it's new. Love Goa.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, with that,
Mogasuri.
we'll come to end of session. What is that again? Mog Asuni, right? If
Yes, Mogasuni. Mog
Mog
means
Asuni.
love. Yeah, love all.
Okay,
Love
nice,
to all.
nice.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. So with that, we come to end of session. Thank you so much, Darpana, for showing us the Goa in this perspective. It was really, really beautiful and eye opener for people like me, breaking the ice, kind of showing that chalo dikhate kya Goa hai. Right? It's not just the two words. So thank you so much for that,
So
and
I,
definitely
I,
we would.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we would love to, I would love to visit Goa soon because it's so many of things which I like, like it may be festivals or shooting in streets or architecture, abstracts. So I guess there's so much to do.
Yes. And so, actually, on that note, I would first like to really thank you again and thank you, ex Satish ji, for inviting me. I was very nervous because I'm presenting to YPS. Please believe me, because I am actually, I've just started out in the field of photography in the last 2 years, rather taken it seriously in the last 2 years. And for me, presenting it to YPS Bengaluru is not only an honor, but I was actually very scared, to be honest. So, if I mean, I'm glad that most of you enjoyed the journey and the presentation. So, thank you
Totally,
so much.
totally.
Thank you once again. And
Yeah.
everybody is welcome. Yes, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much for that. It was really wonderful. To all our viewers, I have the Instagram handle of Darpana is already flashing on the screen. I have also, posted a link directly on the chat so that after the session, click on it, go follow her, and yeah, if you will, visit Goa and shoot something, do tag her, and
Yes,
that will be
please.
really wonderful. Maybe hashtag Goa with new perspective or something nice hashtags. Okay, so with that we come to end of session, and before we wind up, here's a quick round of another announcement. So talking about YPS memorables, let me just clear this for now. Okay, YPS memorables. Yep, if you haven't got your YPS memorable YPS merchandise, don't miss it. We have mugs, we have caps in two colors, beige and blue. So all you need to do is visit our website ypsbangalore.com and click on this image YPS memorables, add the items to the cart, and get it home delivered. As simple as that. Golden Jubilee Photo Challenge exclusively for our YPS members. January month's theme was emotions. The results will be announced soon. All the best to everyone who participated. The results will be out on February 1st. And February's theme is noise. As Tusker says, do not make noise about noise. But then let's see how noisy we become, and we be really creative in this something different genre which we always try to avoid. We avoid noise, but then let's include them, and let's include the noise and see where we go. So the submission deadline is 25th February. Do not wait for the submission deadline. Start uploading from the day one. Last but not the least, if you wish to become a member, scan the QR code here. If not, you can visit our website, click on Become a YPS member. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Our handle across all is same @ YPS Bengaluru. I'll be posting a link, which is ypsbengaluru.com/link, which has got all the important links with respect to which is if you want to become a member, watch any previous videos of YPS Meet Live or the Nenapugalu series. Everything is there, all the important links. I'll be posting that after this session. So thank you once again, Darpana, for coming to YPS. It was really, really wonderful, and wish to meet you soon with
Thank you
the
very
camera.
much. And yes,
Perfect. So thank you all our viewers. Stay home, stay safe, and hope to see you in the next episode soon.